Do you think sex or other activities happen every time a person hangs out with their significant other?
No, I believe that's not the case. It's not always the case. You don't always have to be having sex to be affectionate.
Why do you think that parents automatically think that you're doing more than just hanging out?
Because they're probably just unaware of what you're doing. Parents are very curious of their children. I mean, they don't know what they're doing all the time, so they're just probably wondering if they're doing something you're not supposed to be doing.
If you do end up sleeping with that person, does it depend on the person or the circumstance that you're in that moment?
I think it depends on that person. What if they're ready or not? Yeah, it's probably just a person.
Next question. Does the relationship status matter?
Like boyfriend or girlfriend?
Yeah. Or like how far you've been in the relationship, like how long you've been in the relationship.
I mean, well, I think that should matter, but nowadays I think it really doesn't matter. Kids are so anxious to lose their virginity. I think they just give it to anybody now.
And my last question. Do you think that parents or people our age are more likely to think that you're going to end up sleeping with somebody if you stay the night with them?
Probably people more of our age.
Why?
They probably think, I mean, I'm not really sure. Like,
is it because of like what they see on TV or like
probably
what they talk about?
Yeah, I mean, it's in the media nowadays. Yeah, I mean, pretty much everybody talks about it. So they just automatically just assume that you're doing it too because they're possibly doing it as well.
Do you think that sex or other activities happen every time that a person is with their significant other?
It depends on the couple, in my opinion, because like everybody is not the same. So maybe we do engage in sex every night. Other people, they can honestly just sit there and watch a movie and just talk or whatever, you know? So it just depends on the couple and their relationship.
So when it comes to parents, like if you tell your parents you're going to hang out with your boyfriend, do you think that parents automatically assume that teenagers are like having sex with the person they're with when they say they're going to hang out with them?
Not necessarily. I feel like if the parents like have a good relationship with the person you're with, then they can make assumptions on their own. But if they feel comfortable enough to let you go with the person, then I don't feel like they're just going to be like, okay, well, since we're okay with you, like, yeah, you guys can go and have sex. So no, I feel like it really still depends on who they are, how they operate, you know. I don't think necessarily everybody's parents thinks that they're going to just go off and have sex. Unless they're 100% okay with that, no. I don't know any person whose parents just allows them to go off and have sex with everybody, like, regardless if they're in a relationship or not.
Okay. So what do you think makes people think that if you are hanging out with your significant other, you guys are going to have sex? Like, what makes them think that? What do you think makes them think that?
Stereotypes. People think of everything they see in movies. Nowadays, everybody wants that perfect couple image, I guess, whatever. So they see stuff on Instagram. Oh, I want to take the cute little pictures and go on the cute little dates holding hands. And, like, they just going based off of what they see in movies, I feel. Like, your typical movie couple, they're not really just sitting there watching a movie. It may start off as a movie, but it leads to other things. So, yeah.
When it comes to like thinking that people are going to have sex, you know, when they hang out, do you think parents think that more or people our age think that more?
People our age think that more because, I mean, people are such, they like base everything off of what they see, and nowadays, if you're not doing something, you're lame. So if you're not having sex with your boyfriend, you're lame, or your girlfriend or whatever. You need to go find somebody who's willing to do it, because in our generation, that's all everybody does nowadays. That's what they think. So I feel like it's your friends who think that that's what you're doing more. Like, you can sit up there and tell them how you had the perfect day. Well, did you end up having sex? Like, it's just stereotypes type stuff.
Alright, so knowing the background information, do you think sex or other activities happens every time one hangs out with their significant other?
I don't believe it does every time. Like, it does happen a lot of times, but people can just hang out.
What makes people presume the term more on hanging out?
I think a lot of people think more because of just stories and rumors that get spread like every time someone hangs out with like someone of the opposite sex. So I think that's where that comes from.
And does it depend on the person or circumstance?
I think it can depend on the person, like depending on their history or like what people think of them.
Alrighty. And like, do you agree with this theory of bullshit, or based on bullshit on when you are with a guy or significant other, that it is presumed you do more than just hang out? Do you agree or disagree?
I think it is bullshit because I think people can like just generally hang out with people of the opposite sex.
Based on the information you just heard, do you think sex or other activities happens every time one hangs out with their significant other?
No, because I've had a boyfriend for 2 years and we can go to the movies and come back home without doing anything.
Why do you think parents automatically presume more than just a hangout?
I think most parents are overprotective.
Alright. And does the previous experience one has depend on what people think is going to happen?
Yeah, I think so.
And last but not least, do you agree with the topic of bullshit on when you are with a guy or significant other that is presumed you do more than just hang out?
Yeah.
Now that you know all the background information, when a girl goes over to a guy's house and or room, whether it's her significant other or friend, does it mean they're going to have sex?
No.
Why do you think parents automatically assume it's more than just hanging out?
Probably because for some reason girls being friends with a guy isn't normal. They automatically assume like, well, they're opposite sex, so they must be doing something, or they must want to do something, when it can be just a simple friendship. Like, my best friend is male, so I know like firsthand people are just like, oh, you must be doing something, oh, you guys must be dating or want to date, which is like, no. Like, like, they're just my friend. Like, just like I'm friends with you, why can't I be friends with them without something being more than that?
Can the knowledge of past experiences be a factor in why people assume it's more than just hanging out?
Probably, because, you know, like, a lot of parents was like, well, I was doing that at that age with, you know, the opposite sex. They're probably doing it too. When that's not the case, because you're not that person. So, in actuality, they can literally just be hanging out. My friend comes over, we legit just take naps together. So, with parents, they're just like, well, it's kind of like to them, if I was doing it, they're doing it. And that's definitely not the case.
Do you think guys feel entitled to sex when a girl comes over or spends the night?
I definitely don't think most guys do. I think, like, the stereotype of guys, people would think that guys think they're entitled to it, when I have a lot of guy friends and they're just like, no, we're legit just here to hang out, like, play video games, watch a movie, we're just hanging out because we're friends. So if a guy does feel obligated to have sex with you just because you're over or just because you're spending the night, then please run away from that guy after immediately, because he's an ass. So
do you think the knowledge of like past experiences can be a factor? Like if he knows like some of the guys that she's like been with, stuff like that, do you think that could be a factor?
I definitely think it does, but kind of like I said earlier, nobody's the same with every person. Like, just because she did it before doesn't mean she's gonna do it again, or just because she did it with that person doesn't mean that you're like that person. You're not that person. So it can be a completely different mindset, and for you to think that this person did it with this person, so now they're obligated or they should do it with me, it's like a completely like messed up mindset. So just because they did it with somebody else or you did it with somebody else does not necessarily mean that it's gonna happen now with you, because that's just not how anything works.
Thank you for your time.
You're welcome, Lee.